Hey, public, hey, friends, we're about to get into it real quick, real fast, because I can't make my TikTok videos because I sat up here and deleted that damn app off of one of my phones. Then my other phone is on there, but that phone doesn't have sound. So it's like, what? I can't even Bluetooth into it. Like, it's fucked up. But anywho, I can post like text type of things or silly shit that nobody can hear. It's weird. What's going on with my phone? Someone let me know, please. Thank you. Okay. But anyway, we're gonna get into it. Yeah. This the case you're gonna want to utilize when you're fighting a battle of corruption against these motherfucking pirates. Okay. Yeah. The pirates have infiltrated the judiciary. Absolutely. And Ohio is the epitome. Understanding though. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I am, I guess, a whistleblower. That's what they call people that actually advocate for what's right. Yeah. And speak up and speak out and see something, say something. They call you whistleblower, boo. Okay. Well, there's your daddy. Fuck you. I don't give a shit. Yeah, how about that? Call me what you want to call me, baby. But I'm an advocate. That's what I am, and a change agent, honey. And I'm sticking up for any and everybody out here that doesn't have a voice or that might be afraid or whatever and is sick and tired of motherfuckers trampling all over them. The vulnerable, okay? Disadvantaged, marginalized, whatever they want to label you. Okay? Yes. And the Lord sent me here to do exactly what I'm doing. So that's why no one can beat me at all. Okay? It's not me, it's the Heavenly Father. That's why you can't win, because the Heavenly Father is the real judge, adjudicator, executor, authoritarian, dictator, ruler of the world. There ain't a motherfucking thing you can do to me. Tiny head. Okay. Kiss my ass. This ain't my picture. So let me put that disclaimer out here. I found it on Google. It said it was free, but just in case it's not free, I'm sorry. I'll take it down. Okay. But I wanted everybody to see your daddy. All of y'all motherfuckers that be on my shit 24 motherfuckers 7 that keeps fucking with me in the courts because they are liars. All these people are liars. They're judges, they're judge magistrates, they're clerks of court, and quasi-judicial officers of the court, and they're all cahooting, colluding, conspiring, butt fucking each other, and the attorney. The Ohio attorney is the handler. The clerks are the gatekeepers. They're going to keep you from accessing the courts. Now, all they do is run interference. It's tactics. Yeah, so this is the case you're going to use ultimately. Once you take them through the trial court, state processes and all this bullshit, build your case up real, real, real good. Because as you move higher up, in the judiciary, you'll find that there really isn't any real presentation personally to a court and fighting back and forth. Oral argument, yes, but other than that, they're going to take your case record and do a review. So you'll want to ensure that your case record has everything evidenced. Yep, don't lie about anything. Don't make false statements, fraudulent misrepresentations. Don't file anything frivolous. That's what they do. You're going to put nothing but bona fide, meritorious, good faith filings that have a cognizable legal basis. Yep. And when you're exposed to anything that they're doing, they're going to call you a vexatious litigator. They're going to turn the tables on you and make it seem like something's wrong with you and you're lying, you're abusing and misusing the courts and running up judicial costs, but really it's them. Mm. That's what narcissistic people do. And that's what you'll find here with these pirates that are in the judiciary. Yeah, you will. They've already infiltrated your court system. So this is the case you're going to want to use. I would advise you to go and read through this, and you'll want to focus in. The history is significant in the case, yes. I mean, especially if you're dealing with something with public officials and holding them accountable, and they try to stand on, the fact that they represent the state or something like that. No, they're acting in their individual capacity because the state cannot operate without them, right? The state is just a thing, it's just an entity. But really, you'll find in this particular case, you can hold these actors accountable for their own individual. Actions of misbehaving, anything that's frivolous, fraudulent, criminal, corruptive patterns of practice, in fact. And you'll find that in all of my cases, each and every one of them. So I'm just doing a quick scroll through. You can go yourself and look at and just Google this case and look your self. You don't have to pause to read. But let's see. Let's go to a couple significant fictitious judiciary myths that people believe related to sovereign immunity with the state and even federal actors, in fact. But here it's speaking more along the lines of state actor because this was an attorney general that thought he was motherfucking cute, okay? Yeah, so let's find. Um, I don't want to go too fast and scroll way down and fuck your eyes and shit up, but we're gonna find in the opinion where it basically tells you the primary things that are going to be critical in your own case. You will need to have this on your table of authorities, and whether you're in an appellate court or if you make it all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court, as now I'm at the U.S. Supreme Court with writ certiorari, I believe that's how you say it. I just sent that off. So they have discretion. They may or may not accept it, but they really should. They have a duty to accept this because it's a lot of fish bones specific to the Constitution, and it actually presents some critical, unique federal questions. Yep, specific to individuals that are violating your inalienable, fundamental, your state and your U.S. constitutional rights. In fact, yep, and the U.S. constitutional right violations are the most important because they lie in the supremacy clause of the Constitution. The Constitution is the contract, the United States contract, and these individuals that are in these particular courts, in these roles of judicial officer, they're actually guised pirates. Yeah, they're not upholding any type of Constitution. They took an oath to uphold and preserve. They're not doing it. So they're an enemy. Yeah, they are. So it's sedition and conspiracy, very minimally, but depends on how you want to really look at it, because not Ohio's not the only one that has this issue with these particular imposters, right? It's a lot of people that are having these same issues in a multitude of different courts, municipal court. Common pleas general, common pleas probate, common pleas domestic relations, and your appellate court. So your state appellate and your federal appellate and your federal district courts. In fact, you have these same key players, all right, that mostly you'll find primarily they could be identified as a separate, distinct enterprise of bar guild members, most of them. hmm Lawyers. Yep, fundamentally, that's where they started as a lawyer. Where is the shit that I was looking for? Did I scroll past it? Let's go to opinions and dissents because I wanted to point out those fictitious uh, that I think are critically important when you want to stand on the fact that immunity under the constitutional 11th Amendment cannot be raised as a defense when you go to bring your federal 42, your 1983, when you get ready to bring the deprivation of rights under color of law. Yeah, and when you make it to the U.S. Supreme Court, you definitely want to stand on the unique federal questions of constitutionality, right? And you want to highlight how your particular issue addresses the impact of the public as a whole, the general public and the masses of people out here, or it can, where it's nationally significant. Even though you have an issue, an individualized issue, that's not what you're basically going to be standing on if you want any success in the Supreme Court, in fact. All right, because they're only going to look at things involved with their jurisdiction to make decisions relative to federal questions arising under the Constitution of the United States. So that's why you have to tailor make whatever it is that you're doing specific to that. You can't go in there like, and they did this to me, and me. Even though they did, you have to make it to where whatever harms or events and issues that affected you negatively or whatever, how it can actually impact everyone, everybody. Yeah. And when you do that, it's no way around it. The Supreme Court justices are going to have to take it because they'll have a duty to. Yeah. So let's see. I was really looking for something specific, but I'm having a hard time finding it in here. But basically, it's just stating that an individual state actor can be held individually liable, and the state, they don't fall up under any type of immunity when they're acting in their own individual capacity, violating the Constitution. So if they're doing anything that's unconstitutional, they're not covered. All right. And here's one of them. All right. The 14th Amendment provides that no state shall deprive. Well, this isn't about the fictitious part, but this is telling you what the 14th Amendment says. And you can actually copy and quote this, and then you can um, use it in your table of authorities, and you can bring it back to that. So you would say, you would quote that, you would say whatever spiel you wanted to say about my rights have been violated under 14th Amendment, due process, equal protections clause, or whatever in the Constitution. And, let me draw the attention to the court to look at, quote, boom, the 14th Amendment provides that no state shall deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall it deny any person within its jurisdiction the equal protections of law, end quote. Then you'll put C, Ex parte Young, comma, 209 U.S. 123, whatever, 1908. Boom. And then you'll have that already up in your table of authority. So they already know somewhere in the body of whatever you have put in the court, you're going to be referencing that. Then you'll have an appendix at the end. You're going to recap all of those table authorities with a little bit of a snippet of what that particular opinion said, because you want that particular court to rule in a similar fashion as what you stated, or just bring to the court's attention. This is the issue. This is how the court ruled. And if that court ruled differently than what you're expecting, then you'll just say, and although this particular court ruled, in favor of the opposing side in this particular instance, in this particular instant, let the court recognize that here's the differences, and this is why the court should rule in favor of me because XYZ, like that. That's the argument. All right. And that's the authority that you'll be standing on. This is the authority, Ex parte Young 209 US 123 1908. Now, also, you'll want to undoubtedly in any cases like this that you're fighting for your rights, use Marbury versus Madison. Definitely. You'll want to do that too. Yeah, so And then here, because anything that you're going to be talking about in your deprivation of rights suit that you'll be bringing against these individuals that are in guise acting as judicial officers, but they're really acting in their own individual capacity. They're by no means acting in the best interests of the people, nor are they acting as what is the expectation of anybody in a role for the state or federal government to be acting. No, they're not. They're doing whatever the fuck they want to do. So this 11th Amendment is where they can raise the defense of sovereign immunity. And they have to prove that because they have the burden. Yep. And if you really been harmed and they really fucked you over, trust and believe they won't be able to prove it, baby. And that is the case with my shit, okay? And they can kiss my motherfucking ass, okay? Yep. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. Yeah, okay, yeah. You got to set your shit up to where they have no rebuttal, they have no refute, they have no opposition, they have no contra. Mm-mm. And you'll find that you'll know that they don't. You already know that they don't, but you have to present it to the public, to everybody out there, the lay, at any higher court, that they don't as well. You have to pull it out because they won't answer stuff, or they'll answer things and they'll put in things that they don't authenticate, which means it's not sufficient. And no court can look at anything that isn't authenticated. How do you authenticate? Well, you need some type of sworn oath or affirmation under penalty of perjury. Yes, you do. And in this particular instance, you'll definitely want to make sure that you advocate for that, whether you're putting more motions, notices, demands, or whatever. And if they keep on ignoring you, they keep on using these tactics like they've done with me in every single court. You just keep on putting stuff in. You reply to whatever the fuck they're doing, and you let it be known. You put judicial misconducts in on them. You put grievances in at all these different bar associations. All none of them's going to do shit because they're bar guild members and they protect each other. But you keep building your case because ultimately you're going to end up suing everybody, every state actor and the federal actors. Now, the federal actors, you'll need to put in the standard form 95, and that's a 6 month administrative remedy exhaustion type of process. Go right ahead and do that shit and wait your 6 fucking months. These are hands down win cases if you're dealing with what I'm dealing with. And I've been dealing with this shit for years, honey. This been going on for years and years and years. All my shit is RICO and I can prove it. Which means there's material substantive tribal facts that exist. That's what that means. It's evidence. Okay? Yeah, true facts. Yeah, I don't have to lie. They deem me a fictitious litigator. You can Google my name and it will come up all over Google, fictitious litigator, April Clark. Yeah, that's a lie. It's not true. And they can't validate it or authenticate it. And they haven't, and they never will be able to. So what does that equate to? Another personal injury. What is it? Defamation, slander, and they printed it, so it's libel. hmm They ruined my reputation and my character and everything like that, and they're lying. Yep, pretty much. All right. So let's see here. What are they saying here? Da, 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 da. Okay, Osborne versus United States Bank. This is a great one too that Carl Mueller mentions, I think. Let's see. Yeah. So, anything where you want to talk about your rights and privileges and the violation thereof, you definitely you can go to these different types of cases and reference other authorities that have been referenced within as well and use that in your case, make it work for you, right? You're talking about unconstitutional actions. And also you want to say that their behaviors, individual behaviors you want to see their daddy again, really are with malice. It's not just in bad faith. These actions are with malice and unconstitutional motive. And those are the key terminologies that you need to utilize. All right. Yeah, you're welcome anytime, boo. Yeah, yeah, guaranteed by the Constitution. What's guaranteed? What is guaranteed by the Constitution? Well, your rights and privileges, right? Under the Constitution. But you also have an inalienable rights. Inalienable rights. You can't even waive them motherfuckers. Can't nobody lean against it. Can't nobody put no goddamn attachment bond on them shits. Can't nobody do a damn thing but God, because that's who they came from. Those are natural birthrights. And they violate them all the time. Those are God-given rights. And you operate under God's law. And they keep violating it. No state, no federal, no government, no man, no woman, no dog, no cat. Bitch, you better shut the fuck up. Can take that from you. And that's what they've done to me, though. Yes, they did. I'm a slave. I'm Toby. I'm Toby. Like, what? And they mad that I won't be like, Toby, master. Mm-mm. Bitch, fuck you. And they done put black folks in the role to also abuse other black folks. Okay, okay, keep it real now. One hun done. What? Example, Algernon Marbley, baby. House, like, what? Get the fuck out of here, bitch. Get that coon and shit on up out of here. I don't know what's up with that shit, but everybody needs to know you got the black ones. Go look at all my cases, boo. Okay. Anyways, let's just go through this a little bit. I really wanted to point those couple things out. I had just had it earlier on something else I was doing. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, this is pretty good too. So when you're talking about in your 1983, your injuries, it's not really that the state injured you because the state can't. The state is just a thing. It's an entity. The actions are of whoever you're naming, a state or federal actor ultimately when you get to um filing the 1983 deprivation of rights under color of law case, you'll be standing on the fact that what's this say? The injury of the rights of the plaintiff, which will be you, was not that your cause of action is not really against the state itself. Okay, it's against its particular actor in their individual capacity. However, the state literally could waive its immunity as well and say that, yeah, they'll be sued because, like, under respondent superior, because they are vicariously liable for the actions of their particular employee, which would be that particular state or federal actor. Yeah, and in some instances, even with the state, it's not where they have to agree to waive that immunity. A higher court, like a U.S. Supreme Court, may be able to put some type of injunction. I mean, I'm still learning about that to where through buying through the conduct, if it's so severe of these particular actors, and if the state itself, whatever that equates to, has the awareness or whatever, and didn't act, perform, intervene, like comprehensively investigate misconduct or criminal acts, especially those against the federal government, which you'll find in all of my cases as well. It just depends. Every case that I have out there, it's kind of different, but they all are equate to the same types of corruptive and criminal patterns of practice that have been going on historically and is still going on. It's likely to continue as well. There's a lot of predicate cases that exist. And that's usually what happens in RICO cases. It's something that's been going on for a very, very long time. That's why it's very difficult to prove. Because you have to be able to show the pattern of practice over a course of a period of time, and you can make different types of inferences and, draw the trends and things that's happening. And it's big time, because not only my cases can I prove it with Ohio, the state of Ohio, and all of its federal and state actors in the municipal court, the common pleas general, probate, domestic, Ohio appellate 10th, U.S. District Court of Ohio Southern, U.S. District Court of Ohio Northern, U.S. Court of Appeals 6th Circuit. Oh yeah, I can prove all of that with those particular actors, judges, magistrates, clerks of court, and other quasi-judicial officers, the long arm of the judge as well. I can prove it there. And then what will it do? It will set precedent for every other state and any individual that might be going, through similar, where they too will be able to prove. And it's just going to open up the door for lots of litigation. Yeah, it is. And the downfall, perhaps, of lots of individuals. And yeah. Mhm. They'll be in prison. Maybe they'll have to build a whole new prison just for them, and they can be in there, butt fucking each other like how they're doing now, and coming together and making up bullshit. And all these cases, they're just built on fraud, honey. It's a lot of case fixing outcomes and things like that. Why do you think a lot of motherfuckers are sitting up in prison? That's innocent because they case fix. They manipulate the case records, case scheduling, but at the forefront, you have your clerks that interfere with your civil filings. That's what they're doing too. Mhm. How are they doing that? They're intercepting the mail. It's mail fraud. They're intercepting mail. That's why you should never ever send anything regular mail. I learned that the hard way. You need to send certified, but more importantly, really what to fuck them up, is registered mail. Hit them with that registered shit. Don't fuck with the postman. That's worse than you could ever do. People underestimate the power of the postal service inspector and things like that. You're not to mess with mail, especially like registered. So you have at the Ohio Supreme Court in Columbus, Ohio, Robert Vaughn is the clerk. He just interfered and mutilated and destroyed my registered mail. Registered mail is legal mail, and it travels under lock and key. And anybody that comes in, because it travels with their money. So anything, anybody that comes in contact with it, it's actually documented. Hmm. There's no getting out of that. You can't make up no lie. They know exactly. You have to sign everything, everything. They know everything from the point of pickup to every fucking thing that goes on with that. It's sealed a certain type of way and stamped a certain type of way. Yeah. And so it's basically considered filed upon arrival. But Robert Vaughn didn't do that. Why? Because any and everything that I send there is actually evidence. So he's tampering with evidence. And it's actually evidence of if, in fact, a grand jury indictment comes out for the different types of harms and frauds and swindles on the federal government, because a lot of my cases lie fundamentally in why you'll see the whistleblower retaliation. It's because they're frauding the federal government funding, like the grants and the loans and other federally and publicly funded programs like Medicare. Mhm. And anything that lies in housing, real estate type of deals, or any insurances that's associated with that, or whatever, like home insurance, they're frauding the home insurance companies too. Yeah, they are putting in fake false claims. Healthcare, Medicare, false claims. They're putting in different shit that's coded like their medical type coding for procedures and services. It's not true. It's a lie. They're saying that people are getting particular services, but they're actually not rendering them services at all. And the individuals, which are mainly vulnerable populations of people, don't even know these services are available, like mental health population. It happened to my son, so I know. Uh-huh. And the Ohio Attorney General fraud investigator, Nidra Davis, also knows. She came to my house with her colleague and showed the proof, but she didn't do shit about it. She said the state doesn't have jurisdiction. But you know what she did? She neglected her duty to do what? At very minimum, report it. You can't keep secret crimes against the federal government. It's misprision of a felony or something like that. How you pronounce it, hoe bitch? I don't know. Oh, I'm going to prison. Ooh, ooh, ooh. There's your daddy. Yeah. I don't know. Oh, boo. I think these motherfuckers should have left well enough alone. Mhm. Yeah, what made me just say, you know what? I'm sick and tired of all the fuck shit from all the years and years. I just was noticing shit like, I mean, I was like, God damn, like every time I turn around, motherfucker want to fire a bitch for speaking up, speaking out. And all I'm doing is really speaking up, speaking out for others, really. Like patients saying, hey, you can't, hey, nurse, you can't do that. Stop stealing motherfuckers' medications. Because bitches be on drugs and shit like that. Okay. Yeah, Mary Haven had a whole motherfucker steal a box of fucking Ativan. The vials. You need a needle to draw that up. And they didn't do shit to that bitch. Okay. They didn't turn her in. She needed a fucking intervention. She's on drugs. They just let her go and go out there and go get another job somewhere else where she could potentially put herself and others at risk, in fact. It's true. Yep. And did Mary Haven report that to the DEA? I don't think they did. Did Adam Board report it? Did anybody that I told about the fucking shit report it? Did anybody do anything about the little girl that used to go out at Maryhaven in her car and take Xanax and be sleeping shit like that? Then come back in and go over to Paul fucking Coleman and be in there sleep and stealing people's meds and stuff like that? She was sleeping with the motherfucker that worked there and he was selling drugs. She told me that. A nurse practitioner. I think her name was like Rebecca. I don't know. She came in there one day and seen the bitch in there sleeping. They knew this motherfucker had a problem. Why do y'all keep letting that shit go on and on? I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna speak up, speak out, see something, say something. But what happens is they retaliate all the time. So while you sitting at work watching that bullshit about ethics and workplace violence and conduct and SA and RA or whatever the fuck, and come and tell HR. No, honey, come and tell them, and they're gonna get violent with you. Come and tell them about some ethical, unprofessional criminal acts in the workplace, and they're gonna put some criminal acts on you. They're gonna send some people to gang stalk you, send some people to stab you tired, run you off the road, fearmonger, coming by your shit, invading your motherfucking privacy, harassment, intimidation, coercion, duress, all that shit, bitch. Yeah, okay. There's your daddy. They're gonna send him to your shit. I got all these motherfuckers on camera. Stupid. Everything I say is true, honey. Everything. I'm not vexatious. I'm not a vexatious litigator. Vexatious means that you're filing frivolous things in a court that don't have any merit. They really would never ever equate to anything. hmm But that's not true in any of my cases at all. And they really got butt fucking hurt when in the Ohio Supreme Court, I filed in the court docket that I demanded in a general public notice. In fact, I demand, you can just go look up this one. Look up Ohio Supreme Court 2024 1471 1474. You can look up 2024 1311 1314 1315 1319 1320 1339 1328 1400 1420 1448 1502 1508 yeah 1681 1690 one, 1360, 1360, two. I mean, just type in one of them and I put every other writ in there so you'll easily be able to just go see whatever the fuck you want to see. Okay, it's all RICO, it's organized crime, it's systemic corruption, it's public corruption, it's your tax dollars. Yeah, it is. And they took everything from me in life, honey. Everything. And they keep stalking my family and harassing us and trying all these fucking tactics with their fake court proceedings and found they'll file fake complaints and stuff like that in courts too and initiate court proceedings that look on the surface to be like legitimate, but they're really not. They're fake and they're fraud. It's bullshit. It's case fixing. They do that too. And also what they're doing in the Columbus, Ohio, Franklin County Court of Common Pleas is they're actually making up fake frivolous cases and plaintiffs and defendants anyway, utilizing the e-portal system. I have emails where it keeps sending me a whole bunch of shit saying stuff like, "We got your message about accessing the e-filing portal," and I have somebody else's name and all that type of shit coming to my email. And one guy I actually emailed, and I was like, "Why are you trying to access my e-filing portal system?" Okay. I said, "This is whistleblower retaliation." I said, "You're trying to backtrack and backpedal and clean up the shit I already turned you in." He replied, he was like, "I don't know what this is. I'm not doing anything. This is about the 10th email that I've received saying that I'm trying to do that and I'm not." hmm I got one from a law firm. In fact, it was Ice Miller, somebody there saying I was something came from the e-filing portal system saying um thank you for requesting the access to the e-filing system. They're creating It's the lawyers. It's the lawyers that are in cahoots and collusion with each other, but also with one foot in the court, and they're in cahoots and collusion with the so-called trier effect. There's no trier effects at state level, by the way. Article 3 only. No trier effects, okay? Yeah. So they're in cahoots and collusion with these de facto judges that's at the state level, and they're all running all kinds of different frauds and swindles. There's commercial transactions going on. You got people in the family court. You'll see that a lot in the family court. You got these judges and judge magistrates that's in cahoots and collusions with guardian ad litems that are actual attorneys. And if that attorney that's been put as a guardian ad litem on your case has a private practice out here, you'll ultimately find that what they're doing is giving each other, well, the judge is passing off business to that private attorney, that private attorney in their private practice doesn't really have to tell the IRS. Because why? Because court proceedings and anything associated with that doesn't it's not reportable income. So that's how they hide the commercial transactions. They'll put a private practice attorney on your case that's really like, say, a custody case or something that's not really warranting a guardian ad litem. It's not warranting a home study. It's not warranting anybody getting your medical records or trying to look into the background of anything because there's no law enforcement involved. There's no concern or issue related to a child in terms of abuse or safety or anything like that. And they'll try to segue themselves into your life. They'll try to put mediation fees, 500 each parent, on competent fit parents and try to revoke their fundamental parental rights, which is also a federal question. And anytime you're in these family courts, you need to, if you're a defendant, you need to pull your shit out of the federal court and you can remove it very quickly. You need to get the statutes and remove your shit, a petition to move it to the federal court on federal question, fundamental parental rights, violations of your U.S. constitutional and state constitutional rights. But if you're arguing anything in the federal court, try to keep it just simply related to federal issues. All right. And because that's the thing. Get the fuck up out of the family courts. It's not real. It's fake. They're fake. And they're going to take your kids and stuff like this. All a game. It's all because it's about money making. It's fraud and swindles. That's what it is. So that's why they severely retaliate against me. Yeah. Everything that I say is absolutely true. Like I said, in the arenas again is like so you'll find in the housing, employment, education, healthcare, anything where insurance is involved, or somebody can have an insurance policy, or someone can submit an insurance claim and get money. Like it's all that type of stuff. It's kind of like they look at it as free money for them. Grants, like with the grant proposals and things like that, they're going to fabricate and put in fraudulent misrepresentations and fraudulent statements in there, and it's related to the federal government. So, even like, for example, the City of Columbus City Council and the Ohio Attorney Tierra Ross. They do that with the HUD Pro Housing Grant. hmm I've already said it before in several other videos that I've done. They actually fill out that particular grant and put in a proposal for funding that will help tenants exercise their particular rights, specifically for when a tenant exercises their right to complain to a governmental agency about condition dwellings, that they will utilize that funding to help them if they need to fight against that, like if they're a plaintiff or say they're a defendant in a countersue or something like that. They said that they have robust legal representation to Franklin County Municipal Court in Columbus, Ohio. No, they don't. Legal aid is down there, but that's students. It's like a capstone type of course or whatever. It might be third, fourth year um, students down there that are dressed up like lawyers and all they in them fucking tenants' face and shit like that, pretending and acting like they're lawyers. They're not lawyers, and they're not telling them, "Hi, I'm a student with Capital University. This is my capstone course," or whoever their preceptor is isn't coming out and telling the tenant, "Hi, this is our student. this the last year. Do you mind if this particular individual helps talk you through, your rights and, your options in terms of whether, you'd like to mediate this particular situation or if you would like to move forward to go and see the judge? And can you sign this piece of paper here authorizing that you're speaking with a student and I am here as the actual attorney. They're working under my particular licensure in any and everything that they do, I will be overseeing because I, at the end of the day, am held accountable for anything unlawful that they've advised you because they should not be advising anything legal. It's practice, unauthorized practice of law, in fact. That's what's going on. Mm, mm. So, people, public, I'm just telling you, God set everything up in my life the way that He set everything up for a reason. I've been going through shit forever, and I still am. I don't have a pot to piss in. I'm very highly educated. Very, very highly educated. hmm Um, but my education and everything like that, it's not for me to make a lot of money. It's not for me to, it's not for that. And I never ever liked things anyways. I'm a very frugal person. I don't give a fuck about shit, at all. No, roof over my head and very minimal types of things. Even when I would work and make a lot of money, I still not going to spend money on frivolous items. I don't do that because I don't care. I don't. I like thrift stores. The Lord built me up to be the individual that I am because I have a job to do. I'm on a mission. It's true, whether you want to believe it or not. hmm And that is to be at the forefront as a warrior for vulnerable populations and individuals to fight against the harms that continue to happen upon humanity. And at this particular point, the Heavenly Father has gotten really, really, really upset. And now it's time for God's wrath. So I'm part of the team of warriors, star seeds, the chosen, that are here to actually enforce God's wrath at this point. It's true. Yeah. So it's nothing that I'm lying about. I don't have to prove anything to anybody. It's actually true. So the Lord guides me in everything that I'm doing. Yeah. The Lord gives me visions. The Lord gives me certain terms. That's why it's very important for you to always know what things mean. Everything is grounded in you knowing terminology and how you can associate that. I've learned that. I always get terms and things like that behind. It's like I could close my eyes and behind my eyes, I'll have the terms. I might not be able to make perfect sense of it just yet, but I will ultimately. The Lord gives me the terms, but I have to go and do the work. I have to do the work. I have to do my due diligence, but the Lord is there, my standby attorney, in fact. The Lord is the all-time attorney. The Lord is the judge, adjudicator, executor, authoritarian, and the dictator of this world. Yes. So I get any and everything from the Heavenly Father. So everything that I did, um, and everything that I continue to do is I'm guided to do it. So, and in some instances, it's really not me. I literally could be sitting here typing something, and if it's not done right, the Lord who's guiding me will erase it. Is it just as quickly as I typed it? It will back type it right to the point that I need to continue to say what needs to be said. Or if I really fucked up, the Lord will, or it could be a demonic entity, will shut my computer down, cut all the lights out, all kinds of shit. You can believe it or not believe it. I don't know, and I don't give a fuck. Okay? So, yeah, now we're at the U.S. Supreme Court because it had to go this way. hmm Had to start at the lowest court and we'll go through every single one. And you had to build it all up. And then you'll see too, when you look at my cases, all of the people that are involved coming out of the woodwork and jumping in. They're coming out to fight me. No, I haven't done anything wrong. It's a battle. It's really spiritual. Yeah, they're coming out of the woods, they're jumping out the trees, they're everything. And every time I defeat them, shh, I take my sword and yeah, 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 yeah. Boom, boom, boom. Hey, hey, here come more. Just like the movie. But you'll be able to see it. Now that you have the background, go and look. A good place to start is the Ohio Supreme Court. You'll be able to see it a lot, and you'll see all kinds of public officials, civil servant types of workers for the state of Ohio. You'll see the systemic corruption. You'll see the whistleblower retaliation. You'll see the gang stalking types of things. You'll see all the frauds and swindles. When I'm talking about false claims, I'm talking about grant loan, um, and other publicly and federally funded program frauds and swindles, Ponzi schemes, money heists. Brian Spitz, Trisha Breedlove, Greg Schumacher got in cahoots in collusion with Chris Brown of the Franklin County Court of Common Pleas in Columbus, Ohio. They stole my money. They stole $15,028 from me. Mhm. They still have my money. Brian Spitz and Trisha Breedlove, Greg Schumacher have it in hand still. And what has happened with that, and there's actual proof, um, it has equated to embezzlement and money laundering, in fact. And that's part of the cover up as well. That's because bar guild members committed these felonious crimes, which are very serious crimes that come with a lot of time. And there's no telling how long they've been doing these same types of similar corruptive patterns of criminal practice, utilizing the court as a vessel. hmm Yeah, because if they did it to me, they've been doing it all along, creating fake, frivolous types of business relationships with their corporation, butt fucking buddies, or whatever. And it's not real. It's tax evasion, it's bank fraud, it's securities exchange frauds and swindles as well. hmm So that's what it is. And that's why they try to silence me. But Elon Musk just posted something today or yesterday, in fact, and he said, you know how you can tell. He showed a meme that was saying, like, do you know how you can tell who's telling the truth? Just look at the person telling the truth and then look at those who are trying to silence them. Exactly. Yeah, it's true. But yeah, I don't give a fuck about shit though, huh? Okay, boom. Your daddy. Yeah, because I don't have to. But you'll want to go look at those cases because it will guide you to all kinds of different cases that can actually serve as very useful in whatever it is that you're doing, in fact. hmm Yep. And anything and everything that a vulnerable population, disadvantaged or marginalized individual could potentially be going through in life, where they've been harmed or their loved ones or someone that they know and care about have been harmed, you'll find it in all of my cases somewhere. hmm You're going to be able to relate or someone that you know or God set it up like that. The tables are turning so that you're going to always have something that you can go to and that you can utilize, even if you're a whistleblower. Mhm. And the way that I have to bring the information is to just go public about it because my life is still at risk. My life and my family's. They've been calling my family in Atlanta, Georgia as well. Who gave them the right to call anybody? Motherfucker, they just tried to take my son's SSDI that he gets paid under his father's plan. His father passed away, but my son had a psychotic break when he was 19. He legitimately has a mental health issue. That ain't no joke, honey. That ain't no joke. Yeah. And we deal with it every single fucking day. He's not healed, but he's come a long way. Thank you, Jesus, for that. But yeah, we work every single day to keep him safe from himself and to keep everybody else safe as well. And usually everything goes perfectly fine. Just leave him alone. He's okay. Just let him live his life. He's a free black man, and he will tell you that too. But the Franklin County Court of Common Pleas in Columbus, Ohio, probate court under case 616530 had him enslaved. hmm He was their slave, and they were tracking him down, hmm hunting him as a black man. Maureen Duffy, Jeffrey D. Mackey, Melissa Kaufman, Eric Horvath, Monica Harris. Yeah, that's part of the cover up as well. And people, the Ohio Supreme Court Justice Sharon L. Kennedy, she's part of the mastermind team. She covers up all kinds of crimes. She actually was named as a respondent in Ohio Supreme Court Writ Mandamus 2024 1471 1474. And in there, in one of those, or maybe both, I talked about the case, which is the money heist scheme where Brian Spitz, Trisha Breedlove, Greg Schumacher, Alex Frondorf, Richard Diageo. They actually got together and colluded and conspired to come up with a money heist scheme utilizing the court as their vessel to file a frivolous lawsuit guised in a pleader where they pretended and acted like they didn't know the rightful owner of 15,028 of my money, which stems from a Title VII Civil Rights Act of 1964 employment discrimination claim grounded in race and disability. You can go look that case up at U.S. District Court of Ohio, Southern 2:2202519. In fact, that's where it started. There's a lot of charges involved in that, employment charges. So you have that federal case that first came from an initial EEOC charge, and then I was given a right to sue and I went and sued them. Yeah. So with every harm, you have to file another charge. So then subsequently, they fired me. They turned up the heat on the job and was making up dumbass shit. They fired me, so I filed another charge, and that charge was 5322022022705. That resulted in a settlement agreement where they paid me most of the overall settlement amount except the 15,028 because that's what they stole. Mhm. The tortfeasors Aetna Resources LLC. They still owe that to me today, in fact. But Brian Smith, Trisha Breedlove, Grace Schumacher got in cahoots with Alex Frondorf, the mastermind that actually filed that particular case. It's Franklin County Court of Common Pleas, Columbus, Ohio, 22CV007866. It's a fraud on the court. It's case fixing. They did it on purpose. And Chris Brown is a lazy judge. But it's all on purpose. Whenever you have an interpleader, people understand and know you must safeguard any funds that are in question. There's no safeguarding of any funds. There's no IOLTA. There's no fiduciary title associated with any type of trust. There's no IOLTA. Did I say that? Oh, nothing was ever put in any escrow or nothing. There's no transactional history associated with my stolen property. It's my equitable property, regardless. There's no lien on anything of mine. There's no lien levy. There's no bond attachment on anything. Okay? No, there's a process to that. You do know that too, right? hmm Yeah, but all fucking liens and shit like here. What's going on with my shit? Yeah, but anyway, all liens out here are fraud any fucking way. It's bullshit. Okay. Yeah, what is it that you need to look at when you want to look up the bullshit fraud with liens? Hang on, let's see. See if I can see this. Okay, hold on. My back is hurting me so damn bad. Let's see what you should look up. Mm, got so much stuff going on. I have so much shit going on. It's crazy. Let's see. I just want to tell you a couple things. Not that one. Just so you can start to educate yourself. Um, all right. So what you usually find is with the lien type of stuff shit. So the notice of intent to file a lien, it's not sufficient. Yeah, so that's usually what you'll find. So understand and know. Um, yeah. You need to look up. Try to give you something to look up. It's under Title 36. This is a judicial code. Yeah, so you have to really look at who has the authority. Okay, where's the delegation of authority for somebody to actually do whatever the fuck they're doing? Okay, so any type of lien, so-called lien shit is absolutely fraud, of course. Yeah, it is. So, mm-hmm. Nobody can come and seize your fucking property and talk about they got a fucking lien, not the IRS and not nobody. Nobody. They've been doing it. They're gonna keep on fucking doing this shit as long as you don't know. So you want to always ask, bitch, excuse me? Is there a power of attorney somewhere? Who gave you the right to act like you could sign and take shit of mine, motherfucker? Okay, I don't think so. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there used to be a form 668 B in fact. Oh, here's a case. You want to look up US versus o Ordell. There you go. Go get educated on that and find out how these liens are bullshit. Okay? They don't have any type of warrant or jurisdiction or authority to do any fucking thing. They're utilizing like copies. They don't have an actual nothing. Okay? The notice is insufficient. Understand and know that. All right? Yeah. Okay. You're not an agent. You're not an authorized officer, bitch, on my shit. Excuse me. What? But anyhow, I don't know how I got off talking about that. I really don't. Go look up let's see, 180 Fed second 304 as well. I'm gonna give you the levy requirements. Yeah, it has to be a constructive levy. Okay, there, gave you some tips. All right, now, if you're dealing with that. Cheese ding, bitch. Fuck you. Okay. All right. Now, back to what I was saying. What's this say? Oh, yeah, this is critical too for you to be quoting or utilizing to figure out how you're gonna word your shit. Yeah, so it's settled doctrine. It's settled, ho. Okay. Yeah. There is no argument, in other words. All right. It is the settled doctrine of this court. Is that the U.S. Supreme Court, the highest motherfucker of the land? It's settled doctrine. That's why you got to make it to the Supreme Court, but you have to build everything up. Because the Supreme Court, if they take your writ certiorari or whatever, they're just going to tell them to send all the case record up. They don't want to talk to you. They just want to see what's in that record. And if you did it right, hands down, winding. All these motherfuckers in my shit assets need to be frozen. Yeah, they do. Don't be trying to put nothing in grandma's name, bitch. Too late. But anyways, yeah, if it is the settled doctrine of this court that a suit against individuals for the purpose of preventing them as officers of a state from enforcing an unconstitutional enactment to the injury of the rights of the plaintiff, that would be you, is not a suit against the state within the meaning of the amendment. So you're not suing the state. That's why you always have to say in their individual capacity, but you have to just not say it. You have to be able to stand on some type of authority of what you're talking about and why. Because then the state or whoever's going to come in and say, oh, no, no, can't sue the state. You're going to have to know how to battle back and forth if they try to raise that defense. But I'm telling you, if you do things right, there will be no court case. Because there won't be any reply, or I mean, there won't be an answer, there won't be a reply, there won't be a contra, there won't be opposition, there will not be anything because there is no refute, no rebuttal to what you're saying. That's how you have to build it up. Hands down, indisputable, inarguable, period. And if you want to argue with me or you want to put a motion to dismiss in as a tactic, go right ahead. Then I'm gonna hit you back like, where's the affidavit, sworn oath, or affirmation, okay, to accompany this motion to dismiss my shit? Whatever they're saying in here, let them say it under penalty of perjury. And if they're telling the truth, they won't have an issue or complication with putting that in because anybody that's telling the truth is more than happy to put an oath or affirmation under penalty of perjury on a case record. But those that are not, as you'll see in all of my cases, what they're doing is a tactic because when you're dealing with criminal shit, especially as severe as what I'm talking about, where it could bring a grand jury indictment, you don't want to put anything under oath or affirmation under penalty of perjury. Why? Because ultimately you would be voluntarily or willfully, knowingly waiving your Fifth Amendment to remain silent in a criminal case. Because on a criminal side of things, what is it? Anything you say can and will be held against you. And of course, in a civil case, they're going to come and get anything you said and hold it against you. So if you're saying XYZ in this civil matter with April Clark and you put an affidavit under penalty of perjury, now over here on the criminal side, we got you because you perjured. You just lied. We know everything. Everything that girl was saying, April Clark and all of her cases, actually true. The federal government literally, or any government or whatever, any auditor could literally go in and look at any fucking thing that I'm saying in their own portals, in their own databases, their own mechanisms for validating whatever, or proving whatever, risk management, or whatever they do. If they do comprehensive investigations, yes, they can. You literally could go into any case that somebody put some type of claim into the healthcare, like Medicare or any commercial insurance or Medicaid or anything else. You could pull records. You could just go and randomly pull records of patients. And you can look and see, you could check the claims data with the insurer. And you can say, okay, well, they coded this for, what do you call it? Counseling services. They coded this for case management services. We paid them for this. They coded this for hospitalization, inpatient stay. That's medical necessity. That wasn't necessary. Let's see. Yeah, and go pull all the information. Then you go to that particular patient, the events and the claims data. Then you go to the place that billed Medicare, false claims, and you pull the medical record. And you say, so you said that this person, KH, was coming to sessions for counseling and case management. Can you show me the documentation? Like a soapy note, clinical note where you have like subjective and objective data where you made an assessment and you outlined a future plan and then you came back and you evaluated perhaps on a follow-up appointment or a session that you built for? Do you have that? Oh, you don't. But we paid you, the federal government, Medicare. It's false claims. You're going to prison. Mm? And they did that. They literally did it with my son. They were billing his Medicare provider. Yeah, they were for counseling services and case management services. Go pull his medical record. See how many sessions or any clinical notes that you see associated with that. Bitch, I'm an auditor. Medical records at that motherfucker. I'm an expert in nursing practice. God made it that way. God made it that way. Oh, yeah. Maybe I'm Florence Nightingale made over. You think? Maybe I'm Harriet Tubman came back. Frederick Douglass. Carl Miller, maybe. I don't know. Thomas Jefferson, one of the founding fathers that wrote the whole shit, maybe, that's still pissed at you motherfuckers is fucking up their shit. They say, hey, hey, what you doing to our Constitution? I don't know, boo. I don't know, boo boo. It's not me. Yeah, thank you, Jesus, though, right? What else we got here? So many great references that you could use and cite in your own shit, because all of you guys are going to have opportunity to sue any motherfucker that fuck with you and your family. Yeah, you are. Deprivation of rights under federal law. Hmm. Yeah, so blah 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 blah. I was looking for it a couple things. But yeah, you're definitely going to stand on the supremacy. Yeah, this case right here is just bomb. Everything. Yeah. Yeah. And so the state's not going to protect you. They don't have a responsibility to protect the state actors from their bullshit. Neither does the federal government either. Okay, so the state has no power to impart to him, the actor, any immunity from responsibility to the supreme authority of the United States. Mm-mm. They're acting in unconstitutionality and trying to stand and shield behind as if they are operating in their judicial capacity or official capacity or whatever of the state or the federal government, and they're really not. And the federal government and the state government should actually be pissed. Anybody that's in politics or, like the GOP or Congress itself should really be mad. Yeah, they're tainting the judiciary, and that's not good. Yeah, here's another one. It's well settled. It is well settled. Why can't I highlight that just so that it is well settled that Where property rights will be destroyed, unlawful interference by criminal proceedings under a void law or ordinance may be reached and controlled by a decree of a court of equity. So yeah, so like my property and shit has been stolen, all this type of shit. So a court of equity, I guess, can do whatever fuck that shit just said. Okay, yeah, that's not what I'm looking for though. Yeah, so this just it goes to the supreme law of the land, and then it also addresses, like I've said, why you need to sue individuals in individual capacity, and it's not you suing the state per se. This case right here is bomb. Yeah, so the sovereignty of the state is in reality no more involved in one case than in the other. The state cannot, in either case, impart to the official immunity from responsibility to the supreme authority of the United States. Yep, so you're doing things unconstitutionally. The state cannot pass along its immunity to you as an individual acting in individual capacity. You can be held accountable in the in 1983 suits. Yep. And this is the highest court's own words. So that's why you want to throw it back. You want to throw it back, especially when it says it's well settled. And you want to say that in anything that you're doing is settled by the highest court, U.S. Supreme Court, that XYZ and XYZ. And the court itself, the head motherfuckers, they just gonna be like, well taken. Because you can't argue with the truth. You can't argue with the real established law. And the only thing that's actually established is the supreme law of the land. Okay. Yeah, amen. But anyways, so and then here, if it's still open, oh, it's not open. But I just mailed off the Supreme Court writ certiorari on all these different cases of the Supreme Court and our Supreme Court and the U.S. Court of Appeals Sixth Circuit. You can combine cases and districts in the federal in this writ certiorari. In fact, I'm not an attorney, so I don't even know if I wrote this up correctly. I had already sent one in, and the clerk returned it with some things that I needed to do. Which a clerk that is just doing their job, they don't care about whatever you're talking about, but there's certain procedural things that they need to let you know that you didn't do right, and that's why your document or whatever didn't get filed, and how you can actually correct it. And that's what that clerk did, and so that's what I tried to do. So she was talking about this corporate disclosure, if applicable. Well, I didn't know what to do, so I just put that in there. It's not applicable to me. And then we put some table of authorities here. Yeah, and these are great table of authorities if you want to utilize, because ultimately you're going to go and sue these people. You have to exhaust all your administrative remedies, of course. Um, and in federal government, when you go to do your deprivation of rights under color of law, the federal government, you have to do the standard form 95. Yep. So this was just, some statutes, some constitutional provisions. Of course, these are the things that they violated: first, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, 10th, 14th, as far as I'm concerned. Even the eighth. Did I put that on there? Oh, yeah, I did. hmm yep. Citations of official reports. These are authoritative things. Unofficial reports, legislative and government reports. The government is authority. These are the questions that we're presenting. All right. So you can read those. hmm Yeah. Bitch, why you do that shit though? Okay, I don't know. Too bad. This is a list of the lower court cases, parties, and decisions. These are all of my cases. It's not all of them, but these are the ones that we want to be reviewed that are associated to what I'm talking about. This isn't all of them. So there's a couple that are still actually open. And then you have lower tier court cases and stuff like that. So what's happening with me as a whistleblower? This is a bar guild build up type of a target. I'm a targeted individual. They've all come together. They're all having ex parte contact and communications about me. And they're saying, don't let me adjudicate anything on the merit as a matter of or rule of law, period. Don't let her access the court at all. Don't let her win anything. Don't let her have a voice at all, especially before a neutral tribunal. So we're going to case fix everything that she does, and we're going to spin a narrative of half truth, webs of lies, and tilt the scale of justice in our own best fucking interest of lies, frivolous statements, fraudulent misrepresentation, fraud on the court in every single one of my cases. We won't let anything that she's doing move forward. We're going to manipulate the case record and the case scheduling. I even have a case at the Franklin County Court of Common Pleas. Yeah, Kimberly Cockcroft is the judge. It's for a protective order, and she's deliberately ignoring that. And she's complicit in a lot of crimes. It's Miss Prisian, a felon. They're all covering up for Brian Spitz, Trisha Breed, Lovegrave, Schumacher, who stole my fucking money, but they're also covering up all these other federal crimes, though, right? So let's just see real quick. Let's see if we can just do E. Let's just go here real quick. This particular case, because they gang stalked me and everything like that. Well, it's actually true. So these are my cases that are here. So you got April Clark versus Aaron McDaniel. This is a protective order case. Kimberly Cockcroft is ignoring on purpose. 22 CV007002 April Clark versus Aaron McDaniel et al. All right. She hasn't nobody's done anything. Okay. The complaint has been filed. Nobody ever answered it. Why? Because these are the culprits in all these crimes. Yeah, they're not going to answer because this is really a criminal case, right? So this is the most recent notice. And the clerk will fuck with your shit too here. And I sent them an email like, put my motherfucking shit on here. Uh-huh. Where is the damn thing? Yeah, let's see. All right. They filed it. Alex Castle. That was his boss at one point in time. This motherfucker had somebody coming by here stalking me, and I got him on the camera. And he said that the day that they came by and did that, he said that was his last day there. So hopefully, this motherfucker right here fired him. I don't know. All these people are witnesses too. Aaron McDaniel, Whitney Ramsey, Rashad Anderson, Patricia Ann Collins, Lakeisha Jefferson. These are all stalkers. These are all people who seek to harm me, and I ask for protective order. This is still out there. And Kimberly Cockcroft, she's a bar guild member, gang member, organized crime, RICO racketeering against me, making sure. So you have to put this stuff out publicly because if something ever happens to me or my family members, this is who needs to be held accountable. And like a wrongful death or anything like that, nothing ever. If anything ever happens to me, it's not accident. Or my family members, all these motherfuckers that I put in these court records did it. Okay. So yeah, this is what we put on the court on the record. They try to hide everything. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. They just won't stop fucking with a bitch. I'm not a liar. Do this look like this is bullshit fraud shit? Do this look like a motherfucker found something frivolous in the goddamn court? I don't think so. What else? What was this one? And she still keeps ignoring everything. You got your prosecutors involved in this shit too. You got Mike DeWine involved in this shit. You got Dave Yost involved in this shit. Because why? Why? They're lawyers. They're protecting each other. Mm-hmm. It's not okay. Oh, that's that same one, ain't it? That was that same one. I put a motion for summary judgment in here. Why would you be ignoring all these? All these motions are actually ripe for decision. This is what they do. I'm not the only one in the world this happens to. This happens to a lot of people. Happens to a lot of people. All right. Same people. I said motion for summary judgment upon each defendant immediately for the sake and safety, for the sake of safety and justice, right? Yep. So we put everything. Now, these are some of the Supreme Court cases you can go look at, right? And when you look at all these individuals in here, you'll find a lot of public officials and court quasi judicial or whatever. You'll find like individuals that are actors, state, federal actors. In fact, yeah. So, yeah. She's my neighbor. She threatened. She said, "You're gonna pay for this." Hey, how you doing? Yeah. So pretty much, what's this motion? Let's just look at one more in this particular case. You can check it out. But the Supreme Court, yeah, anybody can look at all any of this. Yep. So what I said, made a complaint due to the new evidence that relates back to original complaint and emergency motion to add Lakeisha Jefferson and Patricia Ann Collins, conspirators to pending emergency protective and restraining order against Aaron, all them. Huh? Why hasn't Kimberly Cockcroft did anything about this shit? Huh? Why haven't they done anything about this shit? Excuse me? Kimberly. Yeah, go look at these cases, people. Yeah, so they're harassing me, they're stalking me, yeah, invading my privacy, saw the threats and coercion, duress, emotional distress, and everything. Yes, it is. Yeah, it's true. I don't have to lie. All right. What else can we look at? This is Grange. This is a guy named James Gallagher. He's an attorney. He's a super lawyer. He's a liar. Yeah. So I had to appeal this because he's in cahoots and collusion with this judge, Michael Holbrook. Michael Holbrook is named in a lot of those writs as respondent. I have complaints against Michael Holbrook. He had no business ruling in this particular case. There's motion for him to recuse as well. He's in cahoots and collusion with James Gallagher because, honey, what they're doing is they're in cahoots and collusion with these different businesses. Yeah, the lawyer represents corporations and businesses, nonprofits and foundations and all of this shit, and they all are running scams utilizing the goddamn court. I ain't got no reason to lie. Mhm. Yeah, and this motherfucker James Gallagher threatened me. Yeah, he did. Uh-huh. He's in cahoots and collusion with Michael Holbrook, but remember, Michael Holbrook is also on the money heist scheme case too. 22CV008936 consolidated with 22CV007866, which is the guy's in a pleader. And I sued the tortfeasor and the resources LLC in 22CV008936, Michael Holbrook, and he covered up the Title VII Civil Rights Act of 1963 and the MSA agreement and everything like that because it's all a money heist. Mhm. Yeah. I don't know what that was. Oh, okay. Yeah, jury demand. They don't never give you no damn jury. They don't do any fucking thing. I could file an affidavit of indigency because they took everything from me. They made sure I don't have nothing, not even no job, nothing. Then they set me up. The Ohio Department of Health, Yolanda Ferguson and Christy Williams. They pulled me in to be a nurse educator because I've completed all that coursework and stuff. I haven't done the certification for nurse educator yet, but I'm a nurse educator at Ashland University, honey. And Ashland University is up here frauding and scamming the damn U.S. Department of Education, FAFSA, um, grant and loan program and shit like that. And then also they're frauding HRSA, federal loan program for nursing faculty loan. Because I was in the doctor of nursing practice program. And then when I found out the frauds and swindles that they were doing in that particular program in different courses like anatomy and physiology, anatomy and pathophysiology 1 and 2, frauds and swindles in there, and also pharmacology 1 and 2. And they created a new course within pharmacology 1 called residency 1 that's supposed to be a preceptorship with clinical hours. It's not, it's a shadowing event. It has no clinical hours whatsoever. Then they force the nursing students to sit with a pharmacist and shadow them and find their own. It's not lawful to do. The Ohio Pharmacy Board doesn't allow nurses to sit with them. You can't get any clinical hours that way. You can't even shadow them. It's all fraud. So when I uncovered it, Rachel Hoffer, she's a faculty member there. Jill Baxter or Mathis Baxter, she's in on it. Theta Hosser's in on it. Sydney Clark is an advisor. She's in on it. Larry Bunce is a complaint type of person there. He's in on it. The dean there, Carrie Keebe, is in on it. Yeah, and this guy, me and him were the only two students there. His name is Josh Montgomery. He was also being harmed in this particular instance. He just doesn't speak up and speak out like how I do, but he also he's going to be called as a witness in the case. It's actually a case. I'm suing Ashland University. Yeah, it's frauds and swindles. And there too, you'll find that the magistrate Judge Jonathan Greenberg and the clerk is also running interference, obstruction of justice. That's a high crime, honey. Yeah, Sandy Opact or something like that. I don't know. They're trying to run interference. I am indigent. I don't have anything. But a tactic is that they will try to force you to pay or make it seem as if you're lying about indigency. When they made me indigent, honey. If I had the money, I wouldn't have no problem paying. I don't have it. They took everything from me, and they're pissed that I can fight these fights and these battles, and get my try to get my grievances redressed, legitimate, bona fide, meritorious, good faith cause of actions where these motherfuckers have harmed me that are grounded in cognizable legal basis. Telling on them and what they're doing, it's by their own mistakes that they created their own liabilities. It's not my problem. Multiple liabilities, and that's not my issue. Don't be mad at me. You did what you did. You opted into it willfully, knowingly, and voluntarily. So what's the problem? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Leave me alone. All right. Okay, I'll be back, people. Have a good day. Let me close this out, boo. No, no, no. I'm gonna do another recording. After this, I'm gonna do a part two, but it's okay.